Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us as we welcome 5 deserving alumni into the St. Mary's University Sports Hall of Fame. This spring, we had originally planned, as a second attempt, to have our inaugural Cardinal Excellence Fund dinner. Unfortunately, we had to make alternative plans, and although we can't gather in person, I'm delighted we could come together virtually to celebrate Cardinal athletics. My name is Dean Beckman, and I serve as Associate Professor of Business and Communication. I'm also proudly the Faculty Athletics Representative here at St. Mary's and the voice of Cardinal Athletics. Tonight, I will serve as your MC, guiding you through this magnificent celebration of past, current, and future athletic excellence. I now welcome Brother Francis Carr to lead us in prayer.
God of all good gifts, as we begin this unique celebration inducting new members into the St. Mary's University Athletic Hall of Fame, we pause to recall that you are present with us and to thank you for all you have given to those whom we celebrate tonight. We are recognizing them for their skills, their talents, their dynamism, and for the demonstration of these abilities in the sports they played. And for one, over 25 years of professional information dissemination and promotion of St. Mary's athletics. As the scriptures remind us, you give these talents and skills to them not only for their own use, but as a means of service to the St. Mary's community and to others who enjoy the sports they play. We are LaSallians and associated in the LaSallian family of St. Mary's University, characterized by a life of faith, a commitment to service, and the search for community. The education these inductees received has graced them with a life's purpose and vision that goes beyond college and releases their faith and zeal to the world. Their selection to the St. Mary's University Hall of Fame is indication that they have used their gifts well and have taken advantage of the opportunities both in their education here and in their lives after St. Mary's. Bless them, bless their families, bless the faculty members, coaches, and staff who mentored them when they were students here, and bless all those student athletes with whom they played and those who have followed them in St. Mary's sports. Amen.
Thank you, Brother Frank. Cardinal student athletes know they stand on the shoulders of those who came before them. Cardinal pride has been part of the St. Mary's experience since the very beginning, with our first organized teams in 1913. Many of you watching this evening are part of that legacy. Please join me in watching a short video showcasing the phenomenal growth of athletics at St. Mary's.
I will be the last to fall. I will be the last to fall.
St. Mary's Athletics has a long and proud tradition, and I'm honored to be a part of it, as I know all of you are. Before we continue with the main portion of our ceremony, I'd like to recognize this evening's sponsors, who are also printed at the back of your programs, particularly our silver sponsor, Merchants Bank, our gold sponsor, WNB Financial, and our platinum sponsor, Mayo Clinic Health System. We're grateful for your support of this program and all that you do for Cardinal Athletics. And now, for a moment you've all been waiting for, allow me to introduce this year's inductees into the Sports Hall of Fame. Andrew Brueggen, Jackie Huegel, Barb, Bock, Loahr, Doug Loahr, and Donny Nadeau. Andrew Brueggen from the class of 2011 was a standout athlete in track and field as a 3-year letter winner and our first male track and field athlete inducted into the Sports Hall of Fame. He was a 2-time NCAA Division III All-American in indoor weight throw in 2010 and outdoor hammer throw in 2011. A 3-time MIAC champion in outdoor hammer in 2009-11 and indoor weight throw in 2011, as well as a 6-time All-MIAC first team selection. He earned outstanding MIAC Performance of the Meet honors, both indoor and outdoor conference championships, and was a 2-time USTF CCCA All-Academic Selection. Here to introduce Andrew is former St. Mary's track and field coach, Sean McMahon.
Good evening, and thanks to the St. Mary's University community, the athletic department, the alumni office, and particularly Ryan Egan for his work on this. I'm Sean McMahon, and I was a track and field coach here from 2007 to 2013. I'd like to offer my personal thanks and a hearty congratulations to Donny Nadeau. Nobody more deserving of this honor, nobody more loyal to this university and its athletic department. I do recall being at this event many times and listening to the speeches. I wondered when I presented somebody someday what that message would be to the current student athletes and how I might convey to them how to become great based on my observations of greatness. Answer the question, what do you have to do to be great? What do you have to do to make a college roster the year after you didn't make the state meet? What do you have to do to become a conference champion in the event that you finished 18th the year before? What do you have to do to set a school record? What do you have to do to set another school record? What do you have to do to become a 3-time conference champion? And what do you have to do to become the first man in program history to be an NCAA All-American? Well, you have to do more than anyone here has ever done before. You have to do so much that others might not follow you. You might have to commute from your home across the river to Winona at 5 a.m. to lift and to practice so that you can go to class and then take a nap in the rack and go back to class. Then drive to La Crosse to get the coaching you want and need from the genius Phil Whitesett, and then do it again. You have to do it when your back hurts, and you have to do it when your friends and teammates might be sleeping. And then you never don't do that. Basically, you do everything. And when you combine doing everything with a devotion to God and family, with rare physical talents, and with a commitment to teammates and exceptional tenacity, then maybe you get 2 centimeters short of qualifying for the United States Olympic trials. But you might not miss much else. While the honor for me was to have a front row seat for Andrew's athletic career, it is an honor to be presenting to you tonight Cindy and Pat's son, Jenna's husband, Ollie and Barry and baby girl's dad, and my friend, Andrew Brueggen, to the 2021 St. Mary's Hall of Fame class. Congratulations.
First and foremost, I'd like to thank God for the divine inspiration of me being able to find St. Mary's University on that fateful day of hearing the commercial that St. Mary's is the best 4 years of your life. It made me find this beautiful campus, and I thank him for that and for the talents of being able to glorify him in everything that I do. I'd like to also thank St. Mary's University for welcoming this transfer in with open arms to make me feel a part of the family that is St. Mary's. To my teammates who, again, welcome in a transfer with open arms. To my coaches, especially Sean McMahon, with the many trips that we had around the country and the amazing food that we got to eat on those trips. There were some good times, and he became a lifelong friend. To Phil Whiteset, my specific throws coach, who took a chance on a guy who'd never even seen a hammer before in his life, to being able to make me into the man that I am today and allow me to be a champion on many levels. I'd like to thank my parents, who would take long drives into the middle of nowhere to these remote campuses to be able to watch me throw for about 10 seconds and then try to figure out the rest of the time the conversion from metric into feet to see if it was a good throw or not. To my wife, who was my support all the way through college and then beyond, for allowing me to take the time to develop into the athlete that I am now and that I was back then, and continuing to push me even today. It's been a great joy and a walk through all of this. My time at St. Mary's competing for them, I totaled it up. If I'm in the ring for about 3 seconds to throw, over the span of my 2 years that I was throwing here, I put in about 12 minutes of throwing for St. Mary's. So I thank you for taking a chance on a transfer, for taking a chance on a guy who did a sport that not many people know of, and allow me to become the man that I am and to use those talents to glorify God and to meet some amazing people along the way. Thank you all, and I'm so honored by this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew, and congratulations from all of us at St. Mary's. Our next inductee, Jackie Huegel from the class of 2003, was part of our illustrious 2000 NCAA Division III National Championship fast pitch softball team. The 4-year letter winner was named St. Mary's University Outstanding Female Athlete in 2002 and started all 137 games during her 4 years as a Cardinal, closing out her career with a .406 batting average, the 4th highest career average in program history. Congratulating Jackie will be her brother Benji Huegel, who earned an undergraduate degree in 1999 and a master's in 2000 from St. Mary's, and her former coach, Kevin McManaman, a 1992 alumnus.
Good evening. My name is Benji Huegel, and I am the older brother of Jackie Huegel, and tonight I have the honor of introducing her on her Hall of Fame induction. Jackie's love of softball began at a very early age as she grew up in the small rural community of Alta Vista, Iowa, a town with a population of about 150 people. Our family spent a lot of time in the backyard playing softball, and when there are only 4 kids, it becomes a little bit of a challenge to think of creative ways to play games of baseball and softball. So one of the games that we developed was kind of a 2-on-2 game where we would go through and the boys would always play defense and the girls would always hit. Okay, and with only 2 fielders, it became very strategic as far as the placement of the hitting. And Jackie would probably agree that her favorite pitch is the pitch out over the plate, and that probably stemmed from the fact that there was never anybody on the right side of the infield. And so she was her competitive streak was continually asking her to go ahead and hit it the other way. Additionally, she started to play Little League in the local community, and in a town of 150 people, it becomes a little bit challenging to have a group of kids all the same age, and so she continually would play against the older kids and face the challenges again of going through and playing against the kids, maybe even 3, 4, 5 years older than her at that time. In her arrival at SMU, I think she would probably agree that it wasn't the smoothest of starts, as she had her first experience of fall ball with Coach Cheetah and the Ironman sessions of 7, 8-hour days, 11-hour days on Saturday and Sunday, being ready to go for practice. And I think one of the things that I remember as being here at that time as an assistant baseball coach was her approach to that and how she was very frustrated after the first weekend and certainly questioned, whether she really belonged here at St. Mary's, but yet she adapted, she persisted, and she continued to grow. that growth presented itself in the growth in confidence and the growth in her ability to be able to go ahead and do so. And as the season progressed and into the beginning of the spring season, she eventually became the starting shortstop and began starting as the shortstop throughout the regular season and into the national championship game. This was very impressive as a freshman, given that shortstop is a very demanding position. And as she continued to grow, I think one of the big things to note is, it ultimately ended in hitting a home run in the national championship game in the bottom of the first inning, and led to a fantastic career where she ended up being four-time all MIAC performer and started 137 games, which is very impressive. But thinking about the growth and development from her first weekend on campus all the way through to the end of her career. While she was very accomplished on the field, I think when we start to go through and think about the Division III philosophy of overall student development, one of the things that we keep coming back to is not only how are students growing and developing in athletics, but also how are student athletes growing and developing in the classroom. And I think one of the things that her professors would probably describe her is that she was a fairly quiet, she was fairly shy, she was fairly reserved individual in the classroom, but over the years she started to continue to grow and develop and again gain more confidence in the classroom and gain more confidence to the point where she has grown into a very calm, a very composed, a very determined and successful, highly successful partner at a CPA firm. But most importantly, I think one of the biggest things to keep in mind with Jackie is that she's a very loving and caring daughter, sister, and friend, and definitely the cool aunt to her three nieces. She's always the one who is the first to check in. She's always the one who is there to see how things are going, to ask if anybody needs any help, or just to quickly check in and have a nice conversation and see how things are going without ever thinking of anything in return. She's never thinking of herself in each of those situations, but really a selfless individual who's really looking out for everybody else. Congratulations, Jackie, on your Hall of Fame induction. It's a very well-deserved honor, and we're very, very proud of you.
It is with great honor that I stand before you and introduce another member of the 2000 Division III National Championship team into the St. Mary's University Hall of Fame. I myself feel very honored to get introduced Jackie into this illustrious class, as I only had the privilege to coach Jackie for 1 year at St. Mary's, but what a year it was. Here, this was small town, Iowa, blonde hair, blue, starry-eyed, fresh, with the biggest smile ever, that just jumped into the starting shortstop role and never relinquished it for that spot for 4 years. All while putting up some ungodly numbers. Starting 137 games at shortstop, fourth highest batting average in history at .406. Four-time MIAC first team, no other shortstop had a chance. 3 All-Region awards, 1 COSIDA award, 1 Outstanding Female award. In presenting this introduction, I feel it was only fitting to include some other opinions on what and who Jackie Huegel was all about. Nikki Fenner, former head coach of Jackie for 3 years and former AD at St. Mary's. I was very blessed and fortunate to be able to coach Jackie for 3 years. There are very few athletes in the world like Jackie. Many coaches like to talk about an athlete being a complete athlete, while many coaches believe their athletes to have all the tools in the toolbox. Very few actually do. Jackie was an athlete with all the tools. She had a combination of speed, strength, and power at the plate. At the plate, she could effectively play the short game with the willingness to move runners and sacrifice, hit the gap, take the ball to opposite field, or hit the ball out of the park. Defensively, she was smooth and consistent. At shortstop, she had the combination of range, tremendous footwork, and arm strength. On the base path, she was smart and fast with the ability to steal or stretch a double into a triple. Combine those physical abilities, her excellent softball IQ, hitting situations, defense, and base running, you have one of the most complete athletes. What made Jackie a great softball player was what her teammates and coaches saw from her daily: work ethic and drive. Again, many coaches will say their athletes have this. I'm sure they do, but most of those athletes aren't being inducted into the Hall of Fame. A relentless worker, Jackie's attention to detail, focus on fundamentals, and consistently being a student of the game molded that talent, she is one of the most complete softball players I ever coached. What made Jackie the ultimate complete softball student athlete was the person she is. A quiet leader on the field and in practice, she led by example and brought her work ethic with her every day. Not just some days when she felt like it, every day. Not only did she lead by example on the field, she did so in the classroom and more importantly as a person. She showed tremendous care for her teammates on and off the field while displaying fierce competition and drive on the field. She was the type of teammates her counterparts aspired to be and an example every coach would want to lift as a role model of the complete softball student athlete. Jackie, thank you for all you did for the St. Mary's Cardinals softball team. Your teammates, coaches, and committee were very proud of you. John Cheetah, former head coach, part of Cheetah Ball and head coach of the national championship team. Cal Ripken Jr. molded his game after Jackie. She was sure-handed shortstop with power at the plate. She was not fast, but she had good range due to her height and her great anticipation. Steady and smooth would be two words to describe her on defense. She would be a sponge for knowledge and was always upbeat, positive teammate whose teammates enjoyed being around her. Jackie was quiet but impactful, just like her hitting. She played the game with class and humility, but make no mistake, she was a star player playing on the brightest stage of Division III softball. Former teammate Gina Rizzardi, third baseman. I stood next to Jackie at third base for 4 years. She is the most talented shortstop I ever had the privilege to play with. As a ball player, she was fearless, selfless, and resilient. As a friend, she was and is dependable and compassionate. I raise my glass and congratulate her on this amazing honor. My quote, I have had the privilege to coach over 28 years, and still to this day, I have never had a freshman impact the team like Jackie did during that freshman year and our national championship run. Just like her biggest hit of her career, a first-inning two-run bomb in the championship game, Jackie made a bigger hit in the incredible impact she had on the St. Mary's softball program, just like she has continued to do in life. She is a very successful partner CPA businesswoman and still carries that big smile with her wherever she goes. It is with great pleasure that I present the honor of introduction to Jackie Huegel into the St. Mary's University Athletic Hall of Fame. I can't wait to give you a big hug when I see you and again get together with the national championship team later on down the road. Congratulations, Jackie.
When I got a phone call from St. Mary's letting me know I would be inducted into the Sports Hall of Fame, it was unexpected, but it sent me on a trip down memory lane. It has been fun over the past year to reminisce on my softball playing days. I am humbled to be joining an amazing group of individuals in the Sports Hall of Fame, and I also want to congratulate the other members of the class on their induction. My softball playing days obviously started years before coming to St. Mary's. I started playing Little League softball when I was about 5 years old. I have 2 older brothers and a sister, and we all shared a love for the game. I remember playing softball with my siblings every chance we got. We'd have a Little League game in the evening in the downtown where we lived, then would come home and still play more softball until it was too dark and we couldn't see. We had our own makeshift ball field in our backyard, and thanks to my brother Brad, who is the handy one in our family, we even had a home run fence. My Little League softball days quickly turned into my high school softball days, which eventually led me to St. Mary's University. I was excited to follow in both my older brother's footsteps and attend St. Mary's, and was even more excited to have an opportunity to play softball for Coach Cheetah and be part of the St. Mary's softball program. I always knew St. Mary's had a great softball team, and I had heard stories about their long and intense practices. But it wasn't until my first fall ball practice as a freshman that I got to experience it for myself. And let me tell you, after spending about 25 hours on the softball field, my first weekend at St. Mary's, it made me question if I really did want to play softball. I had heard stories about the long practices, but I didn't really think they lasted 12 hours. I quickly learned what Saturday fall ball practices were all about, and I learned you had to have the work ethic and the dedication to be part of this softball program. Little did I know at that time that the countless hours on the softball field my freshman year would be a year to remember, ending the season winning a national championship. Attending St. Mary's and playing softball had a significant impact on my life, but the best gift it has given me is all the amazing friendships, both on and off the softball field. It's those memories that I will never forget. I do want to recognize a few individuals. First, I want to thank my brother Ben and Coach Kevin for inducting me. Both of you had a significant influence on my life, both on and off the softball field, and it means a lot to have both of you inducting me. To all the coaching staff I've had over my years at St. Mary's, Coach Cheetah, Coach Kevin, and Coach Fennerin, thank you. It was all of you that helped shape me into the athlete I was. To all of my teammates and friends, thank you. Whether it was those long bus rides during season or hanging out together off the softball field, those are the memories I hold on to forever. And to my family, there are not enough words to express how much I appreciate each of you. To my parents, thank you for the sacrifices you made so I could play the game I love. I can't even begin to count the number of softball games you attended over the years and just how many miles and hours you traveled to attend those games. For those of you that know my dad, I'm sure he could tell you the exact number of miles or hours they traveled, or if he doesn't know right now, it will be our next family trivia question. To my siblings, Ben, Brad, and Christy, thank you. I would not have been the softball player I was without all of you. Growing up with a family that was competitive and loved playing sports, we always pushed each other to be better and supported each other along the way. I will never forget all of the games of 8-0 that we played in the backyard, or the countless hours of batting practice and playing catch, or even the 2-on-2 basketball games. Even though we no longer play softball together, I think we all still have that competitive side in each of us, which tends to still show when we are out on the golf course or at the annual Wakanabo Challenge. In closing, I just want to say, the St. Mary's community will always hold a special place in my heart. I'm forever grateful for the 4 years I was able to spend here, and more importantly, for the friendships I've made. I will always be proud to be a St. Mary's Cardinal.
Thank you, Jackie. We continue to celebrate the success of you and your national championship winning team. Our next inductees are husband and wife duo, Doug Loahr and Barb Bock Loahr, both from the class of 1987. Barb is a standout athlete in women's soccer. A 4-year letter winner, she helped guide the St. Mary's women's soccer team to 3 MIAC regular season titles, including a perfect conference season and a berth in the NCAA Division III national tournament during her senior season. She was also a 2-time first-team All-MIAC and NSCAA All-West Region first-team selection following her senior season and closed out her career with 37 goals and 23 assists for 97 points. Barb ranks in the top 10 in program history in all 3 career offensive categories, while her 16 goals and 40 points in 1986 are single-season top 10s. Here to introduce Barb is her friend, Stephanie Anderson, a women's soccer alumna athlete from the class of 1991.
Thank you for selecting me to speak at this wonderful occasion. I am so honored to be a part of your special day, even though, thanks to COVID, this isn't exactly what any of us envisioned for this celebration. Barb graduated from St. Mary's in 1987, which is the same year I came in as a freshman. Even though I did not have the opportunity to play with Barb at SMC, I have to tell you, as a freshman, coming in for tryouts and the first 2-a-day practices, remember those, Barb? I was instantly inspired by her. There were newspaper articles everywhere on the walls, down in the locker room and hallways, all about Barb Bock, number 14. I wanted to be as good of a player as she was, even though I had never met her. Just to name a few of her accomplishments. She played in 84 games, scored 37 goals, 23 assists. She was a 4-year letter winner, two-time all MIAC first selection team, and ranks in the top 10 in SMC history in goals, assists, and total points. Wow. After I graduated, I was asked to play on a summer league up in the Twin Cities, and one of the first to come and welcome me was Barb Loahr. She was so welcoming with her bubbly, charismatic personality. She immediately made me feel like I had been a part of the team for years. Then after playing a few games and getting to know her a little bit, I realized she was the Barb. Talk about starstruck. Barb was a natural leader on and off the field and such a positive influence on the entire team. I found out she wasn't just a great soccer player, but also a great person. In the beginning, I only knew Barb from newspaper articles, but as luck would have it, she became a lifelong friend. Although I did have to start calling her Darby with the D, just so she wouldn't feel left out of her family names, Doug, Derek, Dylan, and David. We are so proud of you, Darby, and I know your parents are looking down from heaven and smiling ear to ear, not only at this remarkable achievement, but also for the wonderful mom, wife, sister, aunt, and friend you are. Congratulations again. I love you, number 14.
Thank you so much for choosing me to go into the St. Mary's Athletic Hall of Fame. This has been such a humbling experience. When you hear the term inductee into the Hall of Fame, it suggests greatness. And trust me, I was not the greatest soccer player. I absolutely loved to play. I was fortunate enough to attend St. Mary's and make a team coached by Dan Blanc and was surrounded by exceptional soccer players. They are the reason I shined. Thank you, Dan, and all the fantastic women I played with. I'm not going to name them for fear of leaving someone out. I was blessed to have a soccer coach growing up in Park Ridge that introduced my dear friend Stacy Iverson, now Merrigan, to St. Mary's in Winona. Thank you, Tom Sullivan. We called him Sully. You are the reason I went there. If it weren't for you, I never would have met the love of my life, my husband Doug, nor would we have our 3 wonderful children, Dylan, Derek, and David. Yes, I stutter a lot. Doug, Dylan, Derek, David. My friend Stephanie Anderson calls me Darby. Sully knew that sending us to Winona to look at the school and meet Dan Blanc is all it would take for us to fall in love with the campus, and we did. Thanks, Stacy, for taking that journey with me. I don't think I would have done it without you. I'd like to thank my family. Being the youngest of 5, when I went to college, all of my siblings were off living their own lives, as it should have been. But I have only one brother. I've been told that he was not happy when I was born, yet another girl. Timmy, thank you for treating me like your little brother. Somehow you gave me my competitive edge, probably without even knowing it. Dee Dee, Patty, and Susie, thank you for always being there, then and now. Thanks to my mom and pop for sending me to St. Mary's. I love you all. This whole thing has been overwhelming. I am blessed in so many ways. We all are, in our own special ways. Let's face it, we are living in a crazy world. I'd like to ask you a favor. We have one life. Let's live it together in harmony. Love one another. It was recently brought back to my attention that my sister-in-law, Annette, gives the best hugs. And do you know why? Because when you receive a hug from her, you know you are loved. So let's all hug like Annette. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Barb. You've given our Cardinal women's soccer team something to aspire to with your outstanding performances. Keeping talent in the family, our next inductee is Doug Loahr, who is a 4-year letter winner in men's hockey, as well as a 4-time first-team All-MIAC selection. Doug scored 10 or more goals and recorded 20 or more points in all 4 seasons. And he scored 90 goals and added 65 assists for 155 points in 95 career games. As a result of his efforts, he ranks number 3 all-time in single-season points with 70 and 4th in goals in a season with 41. He also ranks number 5 all-time in career goals with 90, while his 155 career points are 8th. I'd now like to welcome John Brandt, also from the class of 1987, a teammate on Doug's men's hockey team, to say a few words.
Hello, everybody. John Brandt here, and I have the distinct honor and pleasure of being the inductor for Doug Loahr to the St. Mary's Athletic Hall of Fame. I cannot tell how pleased I am to be the person up here inducting Doug. It is something that means very much to me. Something else means very much to me, too, is that I know that his beautiful wife, Barb, is also being inducted into the St. Mary's Athletic Hall of Fame today, as it's a much deserving honor. I can only tell you that prior to being at St. Mary's, I had never attended a women's soccer game, and for 4 years I attended many. And since St. Mary's, I don't think I've attended one, so that tells you what type of sport that was performed on the fields by Barb and her teammates, and I say congratulations to you, Barb. I'd also like to give a quick congratulations to Donny Nadeau for his induction into the Hall of Fame, something very much honored by him. I always loved talking to Donny and being around him at St. Mary's, which I was all 4 years that I was there. But we're here tonight to talk about Doug, and as I was thinking about what to talk about for Doug, I had some discussions with him, and I told him I was going to tell some stories. One thing that Doug mentioned to me at that point was about, with my profession, there's something called confidentiality and the attorney-client privilege. Unfortunately, you're not going to hear the good stories. Probably going to hear the hockey-related ones only. I'd like to start out by telling you how we got to St. Mary's, and it was a spring day, probably April or May of 1983, that Doug and I traveled down to St. Mary's, either in his 70 Chevelle or his parents' Horizon. We got to St. Mary's and we got the royal treatment. We had Billy Moore, the reigning captain of the hockey team, to show us around campus in the bubble at that time as the ice was just melting out of the rink. Eventually, we went and met with Coach Olson, and he took us out for a wonderful dinner at the Country Kitchen there in Winona. Maybe many of you don't know, I believe that was the original Country Kitchen. Once we were back on campus, though, they sent us over to the closer at Mary's Hall. And I believe it was Ken Pellegrini that was there that we saw. And any guy with a name like that, you can tell he's a closer and probably has an offer you can't refuse. Well, obviously he did. Maybe not the one you're thinking of, but something else. So as Doug and I were sitting there listening to all the great things about St. Mary's from Mr. Pellegrini, Doug elbowed me in the ribs and he motioned down the hallway. And I turned my head and looked down the hallway, and up walking the hallway were two young ladies. And Doug and I, obviously our attention diverted. Ken Pellegrini kind of leaned over his desk, looked down the hallway and said, "Oh, those are two soccer players from Park Ridge. They're already committed." Well, guess what? At that point, so were Doug and I. And yes, of course, one of those young ladies was Barb Loahr. So now we need to go on to Doug's hockey career, which I thought was spectacular. I was happy to be a part of it. I'm happy to be a part of these ceremonies. But I got a couple stories. There were many, many that I could tell, and these two I thought were appropriate. First of all, I'd like to tell you about a story our freshman year, or actually our sophomore year, when we were playing Hamlin, and we were playing at the Red Wing Arena because the bubble had gone down. On one of the first shifts, Doug scored a goal. And the thing that you should know is that Hamlin's coach at the time was Doug's high school hockey coach. His name was Coolinkamp. I don't remember his first name. After Doug scored the goal, his high school coach, remembering Doug as a player, told the referee to check Doug's stick. And I heard this conversation, and I went over to Doug and I said, "Get rid of your stick, get rid of your stick." And Doug was confused, didn't know what I was talking about. And I grabbed his stick out of his hands and I threw it on the bench. Well, the referees didn't miss a thing. They grabbed the stick, and needless to say, it might have been a little bit over the limit for a curve. And there was Doug for 2 minutes, and a 2-minute minor penalty and a 10-minute misconduct in the penalty box. He had scored one goal up to that point. Well, the best part of the story is that after Doug got out of the penalty box, he went on to score 3 more goals for a total of 4 that game. And it was a pretty neat conversation to see Doug have with his high school coach after that game. That shows you what his motivation was at times, and also shows you the prolific scorer he was. I have to tell you about the soft side of Doug, too, and he was always looking out for my best interests. And I always felt that. Our freshman year up in Concordia, to this day, I still don't know what happened. However, I ended up on the ice concussed, and Doug was the first person to me. And he leaned over me and he's like, "John, come on, you're not hurt. Come on, you're not hurt. Get up, we need you, we need you." And hearing my good friend asking me to do that, I started to get up, and I got up on one knee. And as I started to get up on the second knee, I collapsed to the ice. Doug then said, "John, you better stay down." I think we went on to win that game, but I'm not sure. But anyways, that was our freshman year. And in Doug's freshman year, he tied for the scoring lead on the team, scoring 18 goals and 16 assists for 34 points. And then his sophomore year, which was the pinnacle year for us for scoring, it was an amazing year in that year Doug ended up with 41 goals and 29 assists. The importance of the 41 goals was that it broke a record that was held by probably the legend of St. Mary's hockey up until that time, somebody by the name of Andre Ballou, a guy that was so famous that they had bronzed his skates when they put him in the Hall of Fame. And Doug ended up with 70 points that year. And following those 2 years, he finished up with 30 points. In his junior year, he missed quite a few games. And also his senior year, when he missed quite a few games, he ended up with 21 points. The astounding thing is that in his career, in 95 games, he ended up with 65 assists and a total of 90 goals. Now, if you ask Doug, he says that he had 91 goals. And there's a picture that's going to be up on the screen right now that I want you to look at. This is the only hockey controversy Doug and I have ever had, is I am number 9 in that picture, he is number 14. If you can see the puck in the net, I put that puck in the net. He claims he put that puck in the net. All I know is they gave me credit for it, so Doug, you're stuck with 90 goals. Now, I can also say in the background of that picture is Barb Loahr. She not once in the 30-plus years has ever said that was Doug's goal, so I'll take it. Doug also finished his career with career points, 8th with career points, and 4th with career goals. The thing that I believe was most astonishing about Doug's career was all 4 years at St. Mary's, he was a first-team all-conference selection. It's something that I'm not aware of anybody doing since we left college, and I'm not aware of anybody doing it before then. And I think that is just a testament to the talent that Doug was and what a great hockey player he was. And I also would like to say, as Doug is a great person, that if not for Doug and his friendship, I'm not sure that I would be here today where I am in my life, in my career. It was Doug that motivated me to go to college, and the rest is history. I'd like to finish up to acknowledge 2 people that aren't with us here today that I hope are looking down upon this with the pride that they should over their son, George and Bernadette Loahr. They were the 2 most dedicated hockey fans St. Mary's College ever had. The only people that may have traveled more than them would have been the Matsons from the UP or the Delicians from Fresno, California. But I know that George and Bernadette are looking down on Doug with as much pride as anybody can have, the same pride that I have him for today. I welcome Doug Loahr to the 2020 St. Mary's Athletic Hall of Fame.
Hello, and thanks to those that are watching. I am very honored to be elected into the St. Mary's Hall of Fame. Congratulations to Donny, Barb, Jackie, and Andrew. What a great privilege. Thanks to the committee and everyone who helped put all of this together. Being honored with this award really makes me look back and relive some great memories. I have some people to thank for helping me achieve this award. When I was young, my brothers were a huge influence in my life. My brother Mark took me to North Star games and was my youth coach for many years. Thanks, Mark. To my brothers Dan and Steve, you were my role models. I didn't grow up wanting to play like any pro player. I grew up wanting to play like them and hope to be as good as they were. You are still my role models, Dan and Steve, and I love you. Thanks to my sisters, Mary, Rita, Julie, and Annette,
for being great and awesome fans. Thanks for the support. I didn't think I wanted to go to college when I was out of high school, but once I made my decision to go, I didn't get accepted right away. A special thanks for getting accepted needs to go to Tony Piscatello and Ken Pellegrini for helping me achieve to get my goal to go to school. My mother loved you guys. I'd like to thank Coach Olson for the way he coached me. It suited my personality and brought out the best in me. Thanks, Coach. To John Redpath, I say thanks. You taught me to use my speed, and you were a great person to bounce things off of, on and off the ice. Thanks, Red. Dave Anderson, Scott Faust, and Dave Revere. Between you three guys, you were my right wingers during my 4 years. Thanks for all the dirty work in the corners, a place I didn't go. I had a blast playing with you guys. To all my teammates, I say thank you, and thanks for all the great memories. John Brandt, what can I say, other than I'm not in the Hall of Fame if it wasn't for you. You were a great playmaker, and we had a great chemistry that's hard to explain. Thanks for being a great friend, and I cherish the bond we have to this day. Love you, Johnny. To my wife, Barb, this is your 4th Hall of Fame honor. You are a Hall of Fame wife, a Hall of Fame mother, and a Hall of Fame friend to so many. And now a Hall of Fame soccer player. Wow. I love you, babe, and thanks for saying yes. To Dylan, Derek, and David, you are Hall of Fame sons. I love you. Finally, to my mom and dad, you were my biggest supporters. No words can describe how much I wish you were here right now for this. I love you, and thank you. I thank you the most. Thanks, Mom and Dad. Thanks, everyone, for all the support, and God bless.
Thank you, John and Doug. We are incredibly grateful for the examples our alumni athletes continue to set for our current athletes. Our final inductee tonight, Donny Nadeau, from the class of 1985, has served as the Sports Information Director at St. Mary's for 25 amazing years. Not only has he put in long hours recounting the successes of our athletic teams, he's also garnered many successes of his own throughout his career. He received the prestigious St. Mary's HEFFRON Award in 2014, presented to an employee who has contributed positively to the life of the university, has demonstrated a long-term commitment to the values of the university, and has been a model of the LaSallian spirit in interactions with colleagues and students. He received the 2014 Minnesota Intercollegiate Athletic Conference Mike Augustin Award for outstanding contributions to MIAC athletic programs and student athletes, and he was a 2-time Collegiate Sports Information Directors Association Fred J. Stabley Writing Contest Award winner. Additionally, Donny earned 3 St. Mary's University Employee Recognition Awards, and he served as the host SID for 2 NCAA Division III Final Fours and spearheaded all media relations for the annual MIAC Men's Hockey Showcase. Throughout his career, he has been responsible for all aspects of sports information for St. Mary's, including statistics, press releases, media relations, print materials, promotions, and award nominations, while also serving as webmaster of stmarysports.com, the St. Mary's athletic website, and hosts the Cardinals Nest. We welcome his sons, Joey, who has an undergraduate degree from St. Mary's in 2012 and a graduate degree from 2014, and Andy Nadeau, an alumnus of 2007, to congratulate and introduce their father.
Hello, I'm Andy Nadeau, and I'm joined today virtually with my brother Joey as we introduce our dad Donny into the St. Mary's University Athletic Department Hall of Fame.
When asked to speak at our dad's induction, both Andy and I sat down and wondered what it actually took for someone to be deemed Hall of Fame worthy. What we came up with were 4 values that a Hall of Famer possessed. They are statistical prowess, impact, longevity, and total value.
Our family loves stats, and Joey and I have countless examples of Donny digging up obscure statistics or knowing the most random and wild baseball scorebook examples you can think of. Translating numbers into words and stories is no easy task, but it's a task Donny has excelled at.
Statistically, Donny is one of the most decorated SIDs in the entire nation. He's been awarded multiple SMU Employee Recognition Awards, highlighted by the 2014 Bishop Patrick HEFFRON Award. He was also ranked nationally in multiple SID writing contests and was given the Mike Augustin Award by his MIAC peers.
In regards to Donny's volume of work statistics, he is unrivaled. He is the voice of 17 varsity sports and is the primary social media manager for all Cardinal athletics. He has tweeted 28,879 times since 2009. He's made over 3,500 Instagram posts and amassed over 2,500 Facebook followers. He has written game days and game recaps for over 8,200 varsity athletic contests since 1994-95. He has totaled over 16,500 game-related articles.
A Hall of Famer must also have an impact on his peers and his community. Famed American journalist Herbert Bayard Swope once said, "I can't give you a surefire formula for success, but I can give you a formula for failure. Try to please everyone all the time." Somehow, Donny has been the antithesis of this formula during his time at St. Mary's, because he helps everybody all the time. If we were having this induction in person, I'd imagine every person in the room would put their hand up if asked if Donny had ever done them a personal favor during their time at St. Mary's.
Donny's impact is not constrained to the Winona campus, as he embodies Cardinal athletics everywhere he goes. When people see Donny or read his name, they think of St. Mary's. Donny's world-class body of work and attitude continues to provide positive attention and positive feedback to St. Mary's. A reputation like Donny's is not something many people in the world possess, and I dare say is perhaps his greatest legacy. Donny has made his name synonymous with St. Mary's and the great athletes that have come before us. The third trait, longevity, is probably the easiest to describe. You may not believe this, but in 1994, when he started here at St. Mary's, he had a full head of hair. Working somewhere a long time is not enough reason to become a Hall of Famer, however. You need to produce high quality of work consistently. You need to innovate. You need to improve. You need to be creative and a team player.
Without a playbook or any guidance, Donny has brought St. Mary's athletics front and center online with a presence on every social media platform. Donny has worked to archive all historic stats to provide the general public with the statistics of so many of the Cardinal Hall of Famers we've honored in the past. Donny has done so much in the past 26 years that it may take an additional 26 years to realize what he's truly accomplished.
The final value of a Hall of Famer, the total value a person provides to their institution, is perhaps best represented by Donny's 2014 Bishop Patrick HEFFRON Award. However, we'd like to discuss another example of the total value Donny provides. All Hall of Famers have a signature moment. Donny's signature moment is undoubtedly the 2000 Fast Pitch Softball National Championship. The excitement and passion that Donny showed while covering this event is something that stuck with me my entire life. It wasn't the championship that Donny made his signature, however. It's what he did for the students afterwards to make them feel like champions that embodied all that is right with St. Mary's athletics.
Donny made the national championship something bigger than any Division III athlete could have ever imagined. Donny organized a police escort for the team as they returned to campus. He designed and ordered each athlete a national championship t-shirt. He organized a reception for the athletes that the entire school was excused to attend. And he approached the school's president to sponsor national championship rings for all the athletes. National champion or not, Donny truly cares about every one of the athletes at St. Mary's and strives to provide them with the best experience that St. Mary's can offer.
To be recognized and immortalized in this Hall of Fame means more to Donny than any of you can imagine, except for maybe you, Mom. So please join Joey and I as we raise an oversized mug of Diet Mountain Dew and welcome our dad into the Hall of Fame. Congrats, Dad. You earned this.
Wow. How awesome was that? To have your two sons, two proud Cardinal hockey alums, give your induction speech. But then, this is all taped, and I actually have absolutely no idea what they said. So maybe I should hold off a little bit before I pass judgment. Before I get started, I would first like to congratulate the other 4 members of this year's St. Mary's Sports Hall of Fame class. Barb, Doug, Jackie, and Andrew. I've had the rare privilege of seeing all 4 of you compete on your specific fields of competition. And let me tell you, the selection committee knocked it out of the park. You are 4 incredibly deserving individuals, and I am truly humbled and honored to be sharing the spotlight with you tonight. For a person who makes a living trying to find the crisp, clear words to tell a story, when I sat down to reflect on what it means to me to be inducted into the St. Mary's Sports Hall of Fame, I was staring at a blank screen. After all, how do you sum up the numerous lifelong relationships I've had the opportunity to build? How do I sum up all the amazing athletes that I've been able to watch over the years? And how do I sum up this incredible 26-year odyssey in just the 3 to 5 minutes that they've allotted me? But again, I got to thinking, this is taped. So what are they going to do? Cut me off at 5 minutes? I don't think so. So sit back, relax, maybe grab a cold beverage of your choosing, and then if I could ask one more thing, say a quick prayer that maybe I actually get through this speech. The goal of a sports information director is not just to share the box scores, report the facts, compile rosters, and maintain record books. The true goal is to start a conversation, create a connection, and build a true relationship with the audience. And while I can't say for certain that I have always been successful, what I do know for certain is for the past 26 years, these relationships have found me. And it has captured the essence of why I come to work every day. And I can truly say that I love my job. I loved it more than a quarter of a century ago when Dr. Mary Fox and Bob Conover took a chance on a young kid and hired me as a sports information director. I loved it throughout the ups and downs of winning and losing seasons, yes, even during a pandemic. And I love it even more today as I stand here to accept this most prestigious honor. The African proverb says, "It takes a village to raise a child." Well, it's taken more than a village to get me where I am today. Were it not for the help and guidance of friends, family, and coworkers, there's no question I would not be standing here receiving this award today. You have to go way back, and by that I don't mean back to the age of the dinosaurs to see the start of my village, but you have to go pretty far back, half a century. Actually, make that 50 years. 50 years ago, that's when my friendship started with Bill Moore. Billy, from neighborhood kick-the-can days to youth and high school teammates to college roommates, Donkey Kong aficionados, best men in each other's weddings, and finally to St. Mary's University coworkers. You have always been there for me. I'm glad you finally took the advice of our high school hockey coach, Coach Romanchuk, and attended St. Mary's. And more importantly, for convincing me to follow in your footsteps. You have really helped me along the way as I tried to realize all of my dreams. That neighborhood village grew immensely during my 4 years as a Redman, and then as the Cardinals sports information director. Today, that village is a community filled with too many memories and definitely too many thank yous and not nearly enough time to go around. But I would be remiss if I didn't thank the following. To my fellow SADs around the MIAC, including Dan McCain, BJ Picard, Matt Higgins, Don Stoner, Tim Kennedy, Gene McGivern, Dave Pape, Ryan Klinkner, Leah Radow, Jim Sella. The list is endless, and I want to thank you all. I am fortunate to work with such special and talented colleagues. Your gifts and expertise have helped mold me into the professional that I am today. To the St. Mary's Athletic Department, who through the years have become my second family, my home away from home, I extend my sincere fist bumps and high fives, but most of all, a thank you from the bottom of my heart. I am blessed to have had the pleasure to work with some amazing athletic directors, coaches, and staff during my 26 years here at St. Mary's. Chris Kendall, Nikki Fennern, Brian Sisson, Bob Biebel, Nick Whaley, Terry Manor, Mike Lester, Bill and Greg Moore, Eric Lindquist, Nick Winicky, Jen Miller, TJ Oakes, Tony Winter, Jim Collum, Joe Collum, and Brother Frank Carr, to name just a few. The list is absolutely endless, and I'm sorry that I can't give each of you a shout out because you all deserve it. But I want you all to know that I savor our time together and wish to express my collective gratitude to all of you for sharing so many special moments with me. There are, however, two special individuals that I have to single out. John Cheetah. I learned so much from you, Cheats, during your time at St. Mary's. You probably didn't even know that. Most importantly, to give nothing less than your best every day. Thank you for inviting me to play a role in reporting the SMU Red Army's rise to greatness and for blessing yours truly, a sports writer's dream of having front row access to a national championship team. Thank you for letting me pen the stories that helped bring glory and fame to my alma mater. It was a time and a moment I will cherish forever. In that same manner, I will cherish our friendship forever and try to live up to your creed, to live and give my very best every single day. And then there's Don Olson. Coach O, what can I say? Hockey and sports brought us together. First as my coach, then later as my peer and my confidant, but now, and most importantly, as my lifelong friend. You have always been there to support me and have mentored and instilled in me many lifelong values. You taught me how to embrace the grind, how to act with class and treat people with dignity and respect, how to honor my profession, and in the end, how to love St. Mary's. Coach, thank you for your support in being a part of my success, but most of all, thank you for sharing all those many special moments that we will remember in our old age. I'm a better person because of my association with you. To know that I am forever associated in the Hall of Fame with a true St. Mary's legend like yourself makes me truly proud. To all the student athletes, past and present, not to mention the countless student workers, thank you for not only filling pages of content, but for giving me the opportunity to be a part of your lives here at St. Mary's and allowing me to experience your toughest defeats and your greatest victories. My advice to you is simple. Enjoy every single moment of your 4 years here at St. Mary's because they certainly do fly by. Unless, of course, you're as lucky as me, who for the last 26 years has got to live that college life vicariously through you. To all my friends and family, Mom and Dad, thank you for instilling in me the work ethic that I possess today. You have always been there for me, and I miss you each and every day. Dickers, Biff, Ann Tom and Michelle Stark, Joe and Sandy, Bear and Bev, Dave and Beth, Billy and Andrea, Chris Ebert, Bob, Jim, Gordy, Joe, and Patty Strickland, my sisters, Debbie, Karen, and Rochelle. I wish we could be celebrating together in person, but please know how much I appreciate all your love and support over the years. Someday, I promise, we will be together and we will celebrate. Which brings me to the most important people of my life. And it's definitely time for you guys to all say another prayer. I'm so glad you all got to meet, at least virtually, my two sons, Andy and Joey, my two favorite Cardinal student athletes. I know, I'm not supposed to have favorites. What can I say? I am so proud of you two and what you have accomplished. While one of the biggest perks of this job was getting to watch both of you wear the red, white, and blue St. Mary's hockey jersey and get paid for it, it doesn't compare to the many images in my mind or the love in my heart that I have for both of you. To Missy and Tia, I just hope Andy and Joey realize how lucky they are to have married you two. Thank you so much for putting up with all of their shenanigans. I love you both. To Avery and Henry, my baby girl and my little buddy, Grandpa loves you more than you'll ever know. Finally, to my best friend and the love of my life, my wife of 36 years, Dee. If anyone should be standing here receiving this award, it's you. None of this would be possible without your patience, love, and support. While it may have been my byline that was printed, I knew that you were there by my side every step of the way. My unheard voice, my source of inspiration and truth. Looking back at all the late nights and early mornings to the 7-day, 80-hour work weeks, you have always been there for me. From driving 40 miles out of our way while on vacation so I could get cell service to post a coach hire release. That's actually a true story, Coach Murray. To sitting patiently in the hotel room while I wrote 2 soccer game recaps between the ceremony and the reception of our son Andy's wedding. That also is a true story. Your patience and understanding have allowed me to be the person that I am today. And Dee, no matter how much I say I love my job, I love you so much more. I just got a text. It's from that aforementioned Coach Bill Moore. It says, Ugamundo, wrap it up already. I don't know how you did it, Billy, but I'm trying. Oh, wait, I got another one. This one's from my other college roommate, Brian Nearson. It says, yeah, Quacky, enough already. I've been called a lot of things in my 26 years as the sports information director. Ugamundo, Quack, Super Sid, Donnie Ballgame, best in the business. But there are 3 names that I'm most proud of. Husband, Dad, and Grandpa. And now there's a 4th. Hall of Famer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andy, Joey, and of course, Donnie, a very well-deserved recognition. These alumni exemplify the best of our Cardinal athletics program. It's very heartwarming to hear how much alumni athletes cherish the time they spent at St. Mary's. Teammates and coaches become lifelong friends. The love of their sports lasted well beyond graduation, and the skills they learned continue to be utilized and valued. They join a special group of other elite Hall of Famers who are listed in your program. Please take a moment to review this special group of alumni athletes and leaders. I'd also like to recognize a few of our other generous sponsors this evening, including our table sponsors, Ann and Mark Merklowitz, and North End Pub and Grill, and Greg and Terry Kukowski Evans. And once again, our major event sponsors, our silver sponsor, Merchants Bank, our gold sponsor, WNB Financial, and our platinum sponsor, Mayo Clinic Health System. On behalf of our students, we thank you for your generosity and support. Tonight, we particularly want to recognize the generosity of all of our benefactors publicly, but we give thanks for you and your gifts on a regular basis. I now welcome Gary Klein, our new Vice President of Advancement at St. Mary's, to tell us more.
Hello, everyone. I want to personally let you know how grateful we are to all of you who philanthropically support Cardinal Athletics, supporting and inspiring our athletes to new heights. Our Cardinal athletes have had a tough year with this pandemic, but we continue to celebrate their strength and endurance. And we look forward to the day when all of our athletes can safely compete and showcase their many talents. The competition has never been fiercer. Today's prospective student athletes are looking for attractive and state-of-the-art facilities. And we need to continue building both a welcoming and winning atmosphere to attract prospective athletes and attract and retain strong coaches. And we need to maintain a high level of care and support of our athletes in all aspects of their college lives and beyond. After all, it's these close relationships that Cardinal Athletics has always been known for. For St. Mary's to up its game competitively, we depend on the generosity of our partners and friends. Because of your gifts, St. Mary's continues to provide an athletic experience here that lasts decades beyond graduation. As you've heard tonight, the memories made on our fields, our rink, or our courts last a lifetime, and the skills our athletes gain are invaluable throughout their personal and professional lives. Our Cardinal athletes have the drive, the spirit, and the heart. And they bring that to every practice and game, every classroom experience and beyond. They're not just great student athletes, they're great people. Great people like Claire Patterson, a senior member of our Cardinal women's basketball team. Welcome, Claire.
Good evening. Being a Cardinal student athlete is more than just showing up for your practice and games. It means doing the little things. It means showing up ahead of time. It means cheering on your team whether you're winning or you're losing. It means going to other sporting events on campus and cheering them on and showing your support. It means being a leader on this campus, in the classroom, and in the community. It means so much more than winning. Being a student athlete has taught me a lot, including perseverance, flexibility and time management, and leadership. Every time you play a sport, you are going to make mistakes or struggle at some point. What truly matters is how you respond. At the end of the day, you have to keep fighting and working hard during every game and every practice to make yourself better. As a math education major, I also take studying seriously, and it's a lot to balance. Being a student athlete has taught me how to manage my time efficiently and to be flexible when things come up. Lastly, and most importantly, being a student athlete, especially at St. Mary's, has helped me develop into the leader I am today. As a point guard, a big part of your job on the court is to run the offense and overall pace of the game. So I know the difference that a leader can make within a team. At St. Mary's, I decided to become a leadership minor, which was one of my best decisions ever. My courses have helped me to be a better leader on the court and also inspired me to be a leader off the court. Student athletes have a platform that a lot of people don't have, and it's important to use that platform to make positive changes or highlight important topics. This past year, I've had the opportunity to lead our Student Athlete Advisory Committee, which has allowed me to combine my leadership skills and my love for St. Mary's athletics. I plan to pursue a career in teaching and coaching in the Minnesota metro area to give back and inspire the next generation of student athletes. When I look back at my time at St. Mary's, I will remember all of the amazing people I have met and all the memories we made along the way. One of my favorite memories would be getting to travel to South Africa my freshman year with the softball, volleyball, and our basketball team. We went on a safari, we got chased by a rhino, I went shark cage diving, and we had an opportunity to hike a mountain and experience the most beautiful view. My all-time favorite basketball moment came from last year's game against Bethel at home. Bethel was ranked number 5 in the nation and was undefeated in conference, and yet we still beat them. It was so fun to just go out, compete with our team, and pull off a huge upset. Lastly, I'll never forget my last game ever this year. We didn't know it would be our last game, but our team surely made the most of it, and we all played well. I personally had a career high in assists during that game, which was really special to me because it's my favorite part of the game, to be able to set my teammates up to score. I know myself and many others wouldn't be able to attend St. Mary's without the financial support from family and alumni and friends. Your generosity goes a long way in making our experiences at St. Mary's memorable ones. Thank you.
Thank you, Claire. Isn't she terrific? Claire is a great example of our amazing Cardinal student athletes, and we couldn't be prouder of her and all of her accomplishments. Claire carries on a rich tradition, a tradition many of you helped to create, a legacy of excellent teamwork, outstanding academics, and a commitment to service. Our Cardinal athletes would now like to virtually thank you directly.
Hi, I'm Justine Schultz, and I'm a junior on the fast pitch softball team.
Hi, I'm Zach Bracken, and I'm a senior on the soccer team.
Hi, my name is Colleen Lois, and I'm a junior on the tennis team.
Hi, I'm Kyle Mee, and I'm on the men's hockey team.
I'm Larkin Clem, I'm a freshman on the volleyball team.
Hi, my name is Will Matthews, and I'm a senior on the baseball team.
I'm Jordan Matthews, I'm a sophomore at St. Mary's, and I play for the women's soccer team.
My name is Kevin Gleason, I am a senior on the men's basketball team.
Hi, I'm Christian Beamer, and I'm a junior on the track and field team.
Thank you.
Thank you for your continued support to the Cardinal Excellence Fund
and St. Mary's Athletics.
Your continued support allows me to live out my dream.
Help with enhanced travel experiences.
Build new state-of-the-art locker rooms.
And gives me the abilities to create memories on the field,
on the court,
on the track,
on the ice,
in the classroom, and in the community.
Our academic and athletic accomplishments are directly tied back to you,
who believe in us and provide us resources to compete in the MIAC,
regionally and nationally.
The skills I'm learning on the court, like self-discipline,
time management, and leadership,
will help me throughout my life.
On behalf of the entire athletic department,
thank you for your support of Cardinal Athletics.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go Cardinals.
On behalf of the flight crew, thank you for flying with us.
Tonight, we invite you to support Claire and hundreds of other Cardinal athletes by becoming a part of our team. An investment in our Cardinal Excellence Fund touches every deserving, hardworking, and talented Cardinal student athlete. The Cardinal Excellence Fund is used to enhance opportunities in a myriad of areas, including travel, training, equipment, academic, and professional development speakers, and much more. As our student athletes give it their all, let's support them every step of the way. Congratulations to our 5 deserved honorees once again. We continue to be proud of your accomplishments and thankful that you continue to be part of our St. Mary's team. Cardinal pride runs through all of us. As we learn through athletics, it's all about teamwork. We couldn't ask for better partners on our journey. We hope to continue seeing you in our bleachers and on our sidelines, where you'll truly see your philanthropic support at work. Thanks to all of you for joining us this evening and for helping us congratulate our new Hall of Fame inductees, and for supporting Cardinal Athletics. Go Cardinals!